Hey there, it's Kimberly Lucht. I'm a business coach and energy healer for entrepreneurs who want to make more money in magic doing what they love. And so if that sounds like you, you're in the right place. And today I actually want to talk a little bit about the essence of play and why it's such a crucial component in our success. So recently I was at a Brazilian festival in New York City, and it just was so beautiful to see all of this playful energy. But something that really caught my eye is when there was a capoeira circle that kind of came out of nowhere. If you don't know what capoeira is, it's a Brazilian martial art that also doubles as a dance form, and it's something that is really beautiful and fun and cool to watch because it'll be two practitioners or two capoeiristas dueling against one another, but it's very playful. It seems less competitive and less like survival and more playful and more energetically alive and fun and just funky. And so there was one of the best capoeiristas I've ever seen in my life in that circle. He was doing flips and tricks and just like aerials, which if you don't know what an aerial is, basically a cartwheel with no hands. And I actually, even with gymnastics training, was never able to do it. So I was in complete awe of this man who made it seem so simple and so just easy to flip his body around, and I just had never seen anybody do it quite like him. He ended up bringing me into the circle at one point. I'm like, how did you know that I know a little bit about capoeira, but I definitely cannot, like, I can't like beat you, quote unquote, like I'm not like as good as he is. He's a master of the craft, and I think that something that I want to bring in today is how you can both be a master of the craft and also super playful and energetically fun and spunky with it. This is something that I think a lot of Brazilians do really well because maybe they're really great at dance or music or other artistic forms, and something that I've noticed is that no matter how masterful they get, no matter how amazing and skilled they get, they always bring in this element of play into their art form or into their craft. And that's something that I saw him doing. He has both mastered the craft and mastered the playful energy that's meant to be coinciding with the craft. So I want you to look at your own life or your own business or your own career and notice, hey, like what elements of not just mastery, but what elements of play are here as well. Maybe you laugh a lot during your team meetings, or maybe you like find, little jokes to poke around with your clients or, your colleagues or something like that. But maybe it's even deeper than that. Maybe every time you get into the zone, you feel like you're playing around with energy. And so there's a few things that I want you to keep in mind as you continue down your path of mastering whatever craft you've dedicated your life to at this point in time. And there's a few techniques that I love to implement. The first of which is not taking things too seriously. And so I don't know if you saw my 100th YouTube video, but I released a blooper reel because I was like, I have these funny moments of recording saved on my computer. Why not celebrate with this blooper reel that really shows some of the challenges and funny moments that I've experienced along the way? And at first I was like, I don't know, this is gonna be embarrassing. I'm like, this is not quite on brand or relevant, but I'm like, yes, it is relevant because it's so important to show the behind the scenes sometimes of like what content creation or craft mastery really looks like. And that is what it looks like. It looks like showing up, even if you're like, maybe the horns are honking, or maybe, you're just not in the mood, or maybe it's just like, oh my God, I'm blabbering and not really making any sense. But showing those moments, it's like, okay, that's part of the creation process too. And the reason why I think I was able to post it and not really think twice about it is because I don't really take things too seriously. I take them seriously enough to show that I am serious about my clients or my business or, whatever it is that I'm doing. It's like I show up on time. I show up with my full attention. There's certain things that you definitely do have to do to stay in business, but you don't take it so heavily. Like it's more like a lighter energy. You're not so serious about it. And so don't take things too seriously. Like if things don't go quite your way, if things aren't going, in the way that you thought they would, it's okay to like joke about it, have a lighter energy about it, to poke fun at yourself about it. Those creative processes are never going to be linear anyways. And so having a little fun with the process and just making fun of all of the little trips or falls that maybe you make along the way, that makes it a lot more fun. So the second thing is to experiment in a playful way. So back to the capoeira circle, I noticed the capoeirista just really being in the flow, in the moment, and experimenting not just with himself, but with the partner that he was dueling with. And, flipping in this way or sliding in this way or, going that way or kicking this way to avoid or to, attack. It's not that dangerous. But the defense and the offense, I noticed him experimenting with different moves and different angles. It's like, okay, what ways could I experiment with this to make it a little more innovative or interesting for me? And also for the people around, what things could you bring in that maybe you haven't seen before? What ways could you experiment with the topic, the method, or the techniques that you employ in a way that's wow, I don't know if I've ever done it this way. Let's see what happens. Just throwing it out there and seeing what sticks and what doesn't, what resonates and what doesn't. That means that you're not boxed into just this one version of yourself or one version of your business. Your ability to experiment also means that you're able to adapt and to play around with the dynamics around you, whether it's the economic situation or the ecosystem in your client circle or the energy that you're working with in a particular time of your life. Experimenting and playing and seeing what feels right for the moment is something that keeps you both on your toes and keeps you in this state of playful energy that I also think attracts more success, because when you're playing around, you're not so fixated on just one thing and you're able to better adapt and channel through what actually wants to come through you in that moment, what magic wants to evolve and take shape in that moment in time. The third thing I want to invite you guys to do is to remember your childlike curiosity. And so remember when you were a kid and maybe you had a backyard and you were just oh, okay, here's this insect or there's that tree or there's that flower, what's going on? What can I learn about it? What can I do with it? I remember pulling tails off of lizards in Texas. Just so you know, those tails, I was told by a friend, and this is true as far as I know, when you pull off the tail, it's a survival technique that the lizards just will let it go and be okay, you can have it, predator. I want to survive, so you can have my tail. Anyways, I just remember always experimenting and playing around with the things around me in a very tactile, hands-on way. And so when it comes to your business or your life, it's what ways can you bring in that childlike curiosity? And maybe you're not touching everything that's around you at all times, but maybe you are kind of okay, asking a lot of questions and bringing a lot of, curiosity into the way that you work or with the people that you work with. Questions are actually one of the most underrated playful elements in our lives, because it's that's how we learn new things and that's how we become better people and understand other people better, is asking really amazing questions and having that childlike curiosity, oh, I never noticed you wearing those earrings before. What do you think those earrings are about? Or where'd you get them? Or how do you feel about them? Or even just oh, I've never heard you say that sentence in that way before. Tell me more about that. People also love questions, especially when they're directed at them. So when you're asking questions, it's you're giving somebody the opportunity to have the spotlight on them. And so what I've seen, at least in my own life, is that asking more questions tends to be correlated with more success, because good questions lead to really interesting answers that maybe give you the information that you needed to up-level your business, or maybe it gives you the connection that you need to land a new client, or maybe it gives you that refreshed perspective on where your business is going. So asking the right questions, and not even asking the right question, but asking any questions, I think is better than asking no questions at all. And it gives you that playful childlike curiosity that I think we all walked into this world with, regardless of if you felt like you were asking a lot of questions when you were 3, or maybe as a newborn, but you didn't have the language to communicate that. There's so many things that we still don't know enough about, and that playful energy of I want to know more, tell me more, and digging a little bit deeper with people and even with yourself, that can bring a lot of playful energy into the mix. And so I really hope that this helps you see what pockets of your life and your business might have more room to play around with, and also more success to grow into, because I do think that they're so crucially linked. And so just to recap, the 3 techniques to invite in more play and success into your life and business is to, number 1, not take things too seriously. Number 2, experiment with a lot of playful energy. You can try new things and do new things and just do it with this playful energy. And then number 3 is to invite in more childlike curiosity. So those three elements are really going to help you bolster not only the playful, fun energy in your life and business, but also the success, because I think those things really come into this synergistic blend when we really allow them to. And so I really hope that this helps. If you want more guidance like this, I invite you to download my Soulful Business Roadmap. It's a free guide and it's perfect if you want to create a beautiful, successful business of your own or grow the one that you currently have. And so if you want your hands on that guide, click the link below and sign up. It just requires your name and your email and it'll drop straight into your inbox. Thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao for now. Bye.